You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Dancing with the Stars After Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our after show for Dancing with the Stars. Season 17, Week 6. Wow, it's flying by. Let me introduce you. We have a full house. On the air joining us is, of course, our very own Kristyn Burtt. Hi, Kristyn.
Hi, miss you guys.
We miss you too. And of course, across the table from me, Jake DuPree.
Hi, I'm Jake DuPree.
Oh, Lord.
And next to him, the lovely Trebunskaya joining us again.
Everybody, I'm here.
And of course, the little nugget,
Yes.
Trebunskaya.
Baby Trebunskaya is sleeping at the moment.
No kicking.
No kicking.
And over on the couch,
I'm in the
Sonny
back corner.
Pedersen,
Hello.
our dancer, artist, singer, entertainer extraordinaire.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I try and do my best.
We are so happy to have you. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Glad to be back.
And with that, I don't even know how to begin to introduce her. To my right, the Grammy Award nominated artist, icon, incredible talent on the face of this planet, Toni Basil.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for that lovely entertaining intro for myself.
We could describe you for an hour.
We can go
right?
on forever on your achievements and your filmography and your biography and
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got to just say real quick that I've had the pleasure of working with Miss Basil. And
Yes.
she
Oh, you
is
did?
We worked together on Beth's show in
Midler.
Las Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
genius.
Amazing.
Genius. Okay. All right, so we have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin, but we have to mention the opening number with Benji and Lacey Schwimmer.
choreographing.
Right, choreographing it. Thank you. What did you guys think?
I missed it.
I mean, me and Toni have to be completely honest on that one. We were, because we trade, like we go, I teach her house, she teaches me luck, and so we were dancing in the garage.
And we went, oh my God, the show started. And we tore in and we missed it. They said something about the opening number. I said, does that mean we missed the
we
opening?
missed it. So you're going to have to take that one.
That's
You're
okay.
gonna-
We'll take it. We love the honesty.
But I could say I used to dance with Benji's father. We used to be in dance competitions together.
No
Yes.
way.
And I've before Lacey was on Dancing with the Stars, we worked together too. I've hired her.
Wow.
That's really cool. What did you guys think, Anna and Jake?
Well, for me, because I was in the audience and it was happening right in front of me, the routine was definitely designed for television. It was a little bit disorienting for me, plus I'm just like that right now. I'm all disoriented and half-brained. So for me, it was a little bit, the angles were funky. So I enjoyed it much more on the television when I came back home.
Interesting.
I just like that it was super jazzy and Broadway themed. I mean, it had a lot of the jive and everything that they do so well.
A lot of swings.
Yeah, a lot of
So much.
swing
Lindy
stuff. It
Hop,
was beautiful.
Charleston.
I don't know. It was so nice to see all those people just killing that dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all look beautiful. The costumes are pretty. Guys looked really just hot.
And I like that
Everybody looked
Whitney
great.
was in the front a lot. That was awesome.
Oh,
I'm like, I saw
Kristyn,
ya.
what did
I
you
saw
think?
ya.
I loved it because they utilized so much of the cast and they utilized the entire stage, so it did look better on TV, I've got to imagine. And the one nice thing is that it featured Sasha, which I thought was kind of fun. And we saw a little bit more kind than we've seen
Sasha's
this
a
season,
star.
so it was just nice to see different faces.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. All right, so let's get into this. Bill and Emma with
Embo.
I can
Embo.
speak today with the tango.
Yeah.
For me, it was a little bit of a weird song.
Well,
Totally weird song.
Everything,
weird.
everything
I'm not
was
alone.
kind of weird.
Wasn't that they were tangoing at the Copacabana beach?
But
Eating
with
burgers
cheeseburger in
and
paradise. Like,
Wow.
a country song.
wow, that's it.
And was that song live or was that?
That was live.
That was live. Because they're doing both this year.
Yeah.
They're doing live music and canned music.
Yep.
Which is kind of odd to me. Wasn't it always live before?
It was always live before, but I don't know what's
season?
going on. But no, this is the first time they're doing it because, like on the last number of Corbin and Karina's, that was definitely a track.
Well, yeah.
Because I was like, this doesn't sound like our band, and I look around and they just like chilling, having a bit of a break.
Well, I gotta say, I feel for me, Bill is the surprise of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He really is. Did you like it, Tony? No.
Come on,
No,
Tony. say it.
I really thought the marks were too high. I thought they were too high. I thought
yeah, you
8?
You
They
screamed
got
it
a
out.
23.
8? No, I just
She
didn't
screamed
think.
it out. I love
Yeah,
it.
we were watching it on the couch just last night.
Yeah, I just didn't think that it was an 8. They all
Yeah.
it was 888, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Kind of agree.
no.
Kristen, what do
I mean,
you think?
he tried his best. I mean, he's not a dancer, so and we all know how difficult this is for
Yeah.
people who aren't dancers.
I was just really happy that Emma really gave him choreography. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot of content, a lot
Yeah,
of
it was a
tango
lot of
content. And so I was very happy with that. I mean, he's not going to be like Corbin or
Yeah.
Amber. So it's like you have to commend him that
Well,
he
nobody's
is really
like
working.
Corbin and Ember, so that's
Yeah,
okay.
he's really working on it, and I appreciate it that he's just given into the whole process.
Right.
It's amazing.
Kristen, what'd you think?
You know, I do love that he can handle more and more each week. He didn't keep up as well this week, though. But I liked that, even though I didn't love the song, it did have a strong beat, so I think he could at least hear that, and he at least tried to emphasize as much as he could with his body. But he's just such a joy to watch because he does get a lot of pleasure out of dance, and I'm like, that's what the show's about.
Right.
Yep.
Well, they they got the 23. Yeah.
23 out of 30.
Did you
yeah.
guys think it was fair? Right?
Too high.
I think it was a little bit high because also for me it was a different experience, and the power of television, different camera angles, it can really make you shine. Like it can make you into a star that you not really are.
She
She said it.
I just said
like
it.
it
being
is. Tell
pregnant
it like
just
it is.
makes it even more direct.
Because
Especially if you're dating the director.
I wish I was dating a director.
It's happening.
So
It is.
I don't know. I don't know what was going on
no,
there.
but basically, like for me, I was right in front, right? So I saw everything, and there's some things that I was like, oh, I wish I didn't see that, because now it just kind of gave me the real perspective of what the quality is and what's going on with each celebrity. So now I actually went back home and I went and watched the dances again, and I can tell you which routines looked much, much better on camera and which routines looked live.
Okay, good to know.
And definitely Bill's routine live didn't look quite as dramatic as it looked on the television, because those camera angles and the setup was great. I think they did the absolutely best that they could have done with that song. It's not a tango. It's about cheeseburgers. What the heck? I mean, the character was so out of character that it was like painful. So I'm glad that they went and just kind of had a good spirit about it. They were positive about it. They made their best. They're like, okay, it's about cheeseburgers. Let's make a cute story. And it was fun.
All right.
But it was not really a good
All
tango.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Who makes those choices? Who makes the choices of okay, we're
Do you
going
want
to tango.
names?
We're going to tango to hamburger songs.
Do you want names?
Well, just kind of what position are they in?
Well, they are in the basically executive producers.
I see. Okay.
all right. Well, we got to move on. Let's
Let's
move
move on.
to
We have stuff to talk about.
Elizabeth and Val doing the cha-cha-cha. And I just want to say before we talk about the dance, I was very happy to see in her package her opening up, talking about the elephant in the room, Showgirls, what it did to her and her career, and seeing her vulnerability, because we've been having a hard time connecting with her, and I was getting really nervous about her staying in the competition for a long time. So I really think she did herself a favor.
This was the right time for that whole thing to happen. And I thought this dance was amazing for her. And let me say this. if Amber or Corbin would have done this dance, they would have not gotten all 10s. They wouldn't have.
Interesting.
They just wouldn't have. But I'm glad that Elizabeth finally let her guard down because she really attacked this dance,
Yep.
really went for it. And this is the Elizabeth that I wanted to see, that we've all seen through Showgirls,
Right.
and that's what I wanted to see. So I'm glad that she did this.
How was it live, Anna?
Live, the energy was incredible. She really went for it, full gusto. Her face she was just like fierce tigress in this full-on bedazzled dress. Like she was like, you want a showgirl? I'll show you a darn showgirl. And she did everything. She literally put her heart and soul into that routine. So it was really, really nice to see.
I mean, it was like she was back in that role in that movie for like a split second.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see. And
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I was so glad to see that her outfit was so much better than last week's outfit.
That's the only thing you were talking about.
Oh, wow. That was dressed to lose. Ooh.
I love that.
I love it.
It's true, though. That's
I
completely
mean,
true.
not only was that outfit terrible, but it didn't move, and she's trying to do the jive.
Yeah.
And she has nothing that swings on her body. Holy smoke. So, I mean, this was so much more her style. The outfit was so much better. It even had some fringe. She looked beautiful, I mean, the whole thing was such a step up.
I love what your eyes capture, really. It's amazing. Kristyn, what did you think of Elizabeth and Val?
Oh, I mean, I feel like I've been talking about this all season. She just needs to let Showgirls go. I mean, I always say I love Showgirls, but she needs that to just be like, it's okay, forgive yourself. It's okay that it wasn't the best movie ever, but I think she's had so many expectations upon herself because of it. But the freedom that she danced with, the joy, the sexiness, gosh, I've been waiting all season, and I was like, this was the best breakthrough ever. I was so happy just to watch her dance.
Yeah.
So they got a perfect score, first perfect score of the season. Do you all agree with the 30?
That might have been a little pushed.
Slightly.
I think they were so happy that she had found herself, that I think maybe it was a little high. She's a girlfriend of mine, so she's like going, what do you mean it was too high? Toni, I'm your friend. She's an old friend.
Yeah, I think it was a little too high. Maybe maybe 2 10s and a 9 or 2 9s and a 10 would have been good with me.
I think it was a little high just because if I looked at her upper body and her presentation and the costume and everything, absolutely a 10. But I couldn't help but look at what the feet were doing, and the feet weren't always a 10. And the feet were sometimes, she needs to turn the feet out a little bit, and like a showgirl, bevel.
A little unstable with the feet. Yeah.
It was a little bit like this with the feet.
Okay, well, moving on to couple number 3, Leah and Toni doing the quick step. Looked like they had a fun week. I'll give them that. And I want to mention really quick, because we talked about it last week, and I got a little bit inside information. Everybody was harping on Toni and not giving Leah a lot of choreography. And a little birdie told me in my ear that Leah didn't want to do a lot of the choreography he was giving her. So that is just a little bit of background info on last week. Anyway, what did you all think of their number?
I'm so glad. Finally, she let I'm not a dancer go. Just let it go. And she, this is the Leah that I want to see. And she can handle choreography. I mean, it wasn't the toughest quick step, but it had quick steps in it. And it was so good. I was just so happy for her.
Right.
Proper.
Kristyn, what do you think?
I wanted to just be like, thank God. I was so annoyed last week. You guys know I was like, I didn't love his choreography last week with Toni, and I felt like he finally choreographed something and put the steps together well, and she looked like she could dance, and she felt good about it. And I think this is exactly what we needed. I mean, she looks like she had the confidence back. The one thing, and this sort of starts the whole thing, Len talks a little bit about hold, and we talked about it last week with Foxtrot, and this sort of started Len falling off of the deep end this week. I don't know what happened, but, he picks on some pros and doesn't on others, and it's getting confusing to the viewers, and it's also making a lot of the fans angry because it feels like he's not focusing on the contestants, he's focusing in on the pros. What do you guys think?
I mean, Kristyn, what did you think about that comment that he made? Whenever he was talking to Corbin, he was like, I have to be consistent. And it feels like he's not being consistent.
he's exactly the opposite. I was like, you're totally inconsistent. You're just being consistent this week with 3-star, or I guess with 3 pros per se, but you're forgetting about everyone else because, if you're saying Derek's too repetitive, well, a lot of other pros were repetitive with their choreography. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Anna, what was it like in studio?
Well, I have to compliment Leah on a really beautiful frame. Her frame, her upper line, when she was in that hold with Toni, was just spot on. I also felt like she was really trying to bring up her technical game up. And you know how we talked in the beginning how Leah can just come out and just be the wild animal?
Right.
I didn't feel that from her. I didn't think she was the wild animal. I think she really went, well, I'm going to be proper and I'm going to be a lady, and you want me to be a good dancer? Well, hear what the good dancer is supposed to do, which is have good footwork and good frame. No, a good dancer is both. You got to have good technique, but then on top of that, you got to have the icing on the cake. You got to add the pizzazz. You dance in a quick step. You're not dancing a waltz. You have to, it's jazzy, it's rock and roll. I mean, it's very sexy and sultry. So you still got to have that. So I felt she backed off a little bit, and that's why I love her.
The
is
fun of
because
Leah was
she's
missing.
so
Fiery.
yeah.
Toni, what did you think?
I was shocked that she could handle the quick step. I was shocked. But I tell you something, it was a good setup for her because she started out the number doing something she really knows how to do, and it was
acting,
act.
yeah.
And she started out with an acting piece, and she's a really good actress. And I think it was good for the audience. It was psychologically good for the judges, and I think it helped her move in. Oh, I'm doing something I feel
Really
familiar.
grounded her in that
Familiar.
piece, yeah.
It was familiar territory.
Right.
And I was shocked. I thought she handled it really well, considering really well, because that's a hard dance.
Sonny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love when the contestants, they use their own profession in the dance, like Tony's saying, and I feel like they could do that even more through all of the numbers. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, utilize their skills.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But since when did it start that the judges started to judge the choreographers?
That started many seasons ago.
It did?
Yeah.
It's getting more and more and more and more. Because I really noticed it last night. I feel like it's maybe it's for showboating, it makes the show more exciting that they're, because it does. It has a lot to do with, look, the choreographers on that show are brilliant. You guys are brilliant that you can take these non-dancers
And do something with it.
and make them grow within 6 to 8 weeks. Come on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Real co-workers.
They got 3 9s for a 27. A little high, or
little
do you think it's
high.
right on?
I think it was a little bit of an encouragement score.
Yeah.
That's my hashtag. That's
call
my
that.
whole thing.
We call them encouragement scores around here
Oh, okay.
when it's a
But
little like
it's like, but you
elevated.
see her really step up. So I'm glad that she got the score to keep her going. It was maybe a little bit too high, but
It was a little high in my
I'm okay with it.
opinion.
Yeah.
A little high compared to when you look at everything across the board.
Yeah.
Kristen, did you think?
Leah and Toni, in terms, it was an encouragement score for sure. I love that term, but I think 8 across the board probably would have been more in line with what we thought.
Yeah.
Now, but what are we saying? We've said for the last 3 people that the scores were a little high. The
They were
scores are a
inflated
little
all
high.
night long, as far as I was concerned.
Yes.
And I had a feeling the judges probably knew nobody was going home.
Oh,
That's how I
you're
feel.
right.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
exactly right.
Seemed like
the
it.
scores were a little high, but they were chastising the choreographers more. It was like, what's going on here?
All right, we're gonna move on to Brandt and Peta doing the tango. I got to say, I love how hard he's working and how focused he is. Give him
Yes.
credit. Who wants to go first?
I will. How can you tango to disco music? I mean,
Well, you saw it. They did it.
yeah, they did it, but I mean,
They did.
tango is so passionate and sexy, and it's got all this stuff built in that they had to work against with that disco music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was almost, the disco music was like erasing any emotion that was happening. for me.
And you know, Bruno, someone made the comment, I think Bruno maybe said he was like chasing the music the entire time. I think that might have been why, because the song just didn't fit with the dance.
Yeah, and I think if we would have turned the music off, we would have just looked at the dance, it would have probably been a much better received.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I want to go back and do that and watch it.
Take
You're
the
probably
music
right.
off.
Yeah. Did
No,
you like it?
I loved it. I think, aside from the music, I think that's one of the best tangos from a contestant.
Ooh.
I feel.
Oh,
There was
As
a
a
little
guy.
stumble at the end, wasn't there?
there was totally a
so
stumble
bummed.
a couple times, actually.
No, because he's a guy, and it's not that it's easier being a girl. It's
No, it's
definitely
not.
But
It's actually not. You do the same thing reverse and in heels.
Oh,
Kristyn, what did you think of Brent and Peta?
I've got to say that this couple has grown on me throughout the season. When the first couple weeks I was like, they're fine. But I really love his commitment. Every week he just like goes in there, he goes in the studio, he rehearses, and you can see that he's just going all out with these dances. Yeah, he had some stumbles. Yeah, the music was a little bit weird. And it felt sort of like a goth tango rave. I don't know what was going on. But
Yeah.
But he tried to be as crisp and clean as possible, and I love that he is just putting the effort in, and it shows, and you see that he's really happy to be there, and I think he's going to stick around for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
What was it like in person?
In person, it was, I agree with the music. It was like the music was one thing, and then the dance was like, you know, sometimes you sort of listen to the music and go, okay, like I remember The Situation had a foxtrot to... Gosh, what was it? It was a Black Eyed Peas or something, and
Pump
they kind
it louder or something. Pump it louder.
right? Something. It was like but they totally went with okay. This is Black Eyed Peas. We're gonna make a disco scene, and it wasn't really a foxtrot. It was kind of but it kind of fit. Here it was the dancing was actually pretty good. I think he's much better in the ballroom sections because like we mentioned before, he's not the most fluid rhythmical dancer. So when he has to be strong and have a strong frame and have a precise footwork, he does much better with that. So the dancing on that side was good. It's almost like he wanted so hard to do everything perfect for the judges because that's how they started. We're going to please the judges because basically that's what is on our control. We can't, rely on the audience because I don't know if I have too many people voting for me or whatever. So he was trying to please the judges so much that he went, I'm going to try to do everything perfect. And I think that's why the stumble happened because he just overpushed it. He was still in the stress of, I'm going to try. And I think if he would have just and done it, it would have not been so chaotic.
So they got 2 9s and a 10 from Len for 28. Who wants to go there on that score?
A 10 from Len.
Not for the music,
That was
obviously.
shocking.
Yeah.
I was really shocked that he gave them.
Yeah.
Especially
Yes.
him, of everybody.
Out of all the couples.
Yeah.
Yes. Kristyn, I heard you laughing. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is where you start going, okay, a 10 for that when we saw the stumbles. We did see him even on TV. I mean, we didn't see every single one, but that was definitely there in the final pose. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how can that be perfect?
Yeah.
And this is when you go, okay, they're just throwing out scores left and right. They know no one's going home. Len's like picking on some people, not picking on others, and it really is confusing.
Going to town.
Yeah, it was
is.
for me. I don't think it was a 10.
So far, the first, 4 couples we talked about
We're
were
high.
overscored.
Overscored.
Yeah.
Well, if you think that the scores were completely outrageous and completely overscored, you can go to iTunes and you can download us. You can listen and give us comments, rate us 5 stars, please. We would like that.
Yes.
If you're not going to give us 5 stars, at least give us a reason, okay?
Just give us 5 stars.
Just
You
give us
guys are
5
best.
stars, okay? Overscore us, all right?
Hashtag overscore.
Oh, we're going to get hashtags on the Twitter tonight. Overscore.
Wait a minute. Do we get rated on this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh
people
yeah.
can go into iTunes
So
and
you better
rate
give it.
the
You better
show.
give it.
And AFTERBUZZ.
You're doing well. You're doing great. So just keep it up. Just keep it up.
They're rating us all in the chat room. I'm on with everyone.
I love it.
Comments.
Okay.
Let's go.
Next couple, Amber and Derek with the samba. I do love this couple. So, Toni, I'm going to throw to you. What did you?
I went
what did you
last.
think?
I went first last
Oh,
time.
okay. All right. Anna, go.
Now, Amber is the kind of dancer that when you see, if you watch her on TV, you go, wow, she's really great. When you watch her live, you go, she's amazing.
Ooh.
Really?
She is amazing dancer.
Really?
Very, very, very good. I mean, she had a little technical stumble that I saw.
Was it her footwork a little bit?
It was a little
I
bit.
saw
She
that.
had a little shaky feet, but again, that's we all know she's going through some knee issues, and so her feet are taking all the load. But she is actually very, very good.
That's so awesome
Her
to hear.
quality of movement and how she coordinates her body to the music, and how all the lines just flow out of her body. It's never, even when she puts energy to it, it's never forced looking. It's always like everything is just organic about her. She's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, what I wrote down in my notes was powerful.
Yeah.
Their whole performance. Jake.
I love that Fantasia song that they dance to. Get it right. It's amazing. And I really appreciate her movement quality. I think that she gives it 110%, and I love that she started that like screaming at the band like that. I don't know. It was just the aura around that dance was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, after Lynn said that it was kind of repetitive, some of the samba movements, I was like, I saw it, but it's like if any other person would have done that dance, they would have gotten higher marks.
Right, but I mean, Anna, you've been around this show forever and ever and ever, and I've, been around the last few seasons in terms of talking about it. So many performances, especially when you take people that can't dance very well, there's a lot of repetitiveness. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Right?
No, you're right. I think Len's point was, listen, this girl is amazing. Why do you give her choreography that you would give to somebody like
Who can't do it?
I think that's maybe. I mean, you can't. That's what he's saying, because she is really fantastic. But then we don't know what happens behind closed doors. I mean, this is what she brings on the day. Maybe throughout the week, she's really suffering through it. And they showed in the video clip that she was working through, some stuff, and it was just not coming along. And she's like, this is a really tough dance. It is. Samba is one of the hardest dances, I think, to do.
I think the reason I hesitated in going first was that I think I expect too much of her because she was so spectacular the first show.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you went, oh, she's going to just, eat
Sail,
everyone alive. She's going to sail right
Yeah.
through
Keep
this.
going up and up.
And then I was so distracted by Derek's shirt.
That's the only thing Toni was talking about. She was
Really?
like, Derek, put on a shirt. Put on a shirt. And when he was doing the thrusting movement, she was like, don't do that. Don't.
And the camera was like right on him. Yeah.
It was like this big white bare chest and the black
It's not even that big.
and the
Oh,
shirt
Lord.
flying around. I got distracted.
I swear, watching this
bless
show
your
with Toni is the funniest thing ever. Everybody should do that once
you
in
should
their
have
life.
a camera on Toni
Yes, just
next
Toni.
time.
You need your own after show.
Yeah.
But
Should we have a party?
She's was the real surprise from the get-go, from the very first,
Yeah.
step out of the box from the first show.
Yeah.
So I do expect so much from her
Yes.
because the talent that she's got.
Do you think that Derek needs to give her more choreography? Like really challenge her with?
Why not?
Yeah.
But I mean, you choreograph it, and then if they can't handle it, you change it. You keep
Yep.
making the adjustments.
Yep.
That's what you do. You push it to the, and she can be pushed.
Yes,
Yep.
she can.
She can
Even
handle
more.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And put a shirt on.
Kristen, what did you think of Amber and Derek?
Well, actually, what I want to ask is, can she be pushed? Because I noticed that she had her knee brace on
Oh,
last
yeah.
night.
that's
and
true.
How much is
That's
it
true.
affecting her?
You're right. Without an injury, she can be pushed. Who knows what's happening? She's
Yeah.
dancing around her injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
knee injuries are not fun.
No.
But I guess this is the big question. This is when I see Len, and I'm like, is he just like? I feel like all the comments are directed towards Derek and not towards Amber, and Amber did a great job. Samba is so hard. I mean, how many times have we seen a celebrity go out there and do samba, and they're like, there were not enough samba rolls? She did a ton in there.
That's what I was just about to say, is that they got 2 10s and an 8 from Len, and that's what you're hitting on is Len, kind of going into Derek, and I don't understand it, honestly.
If you're gonna give Brant a 10 and her an 8, that's ridiculous. That's
It
really
is
dumb.
a little obscene to me. Anybody else?
But what is going on with Derek and
Len?
Len?
Is he jealous that he doesn't have an Emmy?
Anna, did you?
I have no idea what's going on. I think, honestly, you guys, I think this is, if you look back, this is my conspiracy theory. If you look back at all the other seasons, like Amber and Corbin are the best dancers we have on the show this season.
Yeah.
And right about 6th or 7th week is where all of a sudden the dancers who aren't that good of a dancers, they bring them up. And the really, really good dancers, they bring them down a little bit. I mean, that happened to me. I experienced it on my skin when I was with Evan Lysacek. And week 6, Samba, I mean, mind you, it wasn't his best dance. He didn't like Samba. It wasn't like his thing. They ripped him apart. They gave him scores way lower than somebody who was, the level was not even the same, you know. The guy had perfect balance. The guy could chaîné up the wazoo. The guy had leg up to here. Like, you cannot give that guy a 7 and then give somebody who can barely move an 8 or 9.
I've noticed that you do that too.
So, and then the same thing they did with Nicole Scherzinger, like the week after or something, and then they said, oh, well, because there was a lift or something, and they underscored her. So it's like they doing this thing where they're like, okay, now who's gonna really kick it now?
Sure.
Do they see these routines for the first time, or do they see them in camera blocking? Let's tell me the truth.
Well, we don't know the truth. We are told that they only see it live.
Because then, I mean, I wonder what you... I mean, look, I judge a lot of competitions.
Yeah.
And, man, you're seeing a lot of things go by, and a lot of things are going through your head, and it can be tricky. It can be really tricky judging. I mean, you've got to work so hard. So I'm wondering, and especially, you know, you go back and you look at it again, you go, oh, my God, that was so much better or so much worse than I thought, you know. And when they're seeing it, are they looking at the monitor, or are they looking at it live?
They're looking at it live.
They're looking. I mean, you know, there's a tendency to, because they probably have a monitor down. Do they have a monitor on their desk? Oh, because we did on So You Think You Can Dance. We have a monitor down here, so we can see what the TV audience is seeing as well as what we're seeing.
No, they watch live.
They do have a notepad, right?
They have a notepad.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they see. I honestly, well, they really good with their lines and stuff. It's like they have it already. How can you have it already and watch the dance in a minute and a half? I don't know. The 3 of them are geniuses or something. So I think they do watch it before.
I think they see
because some of the thoughts that they have
camera
are
block
really
kind of told.
Some of the thoughts are really well written out, and I'm like, you don't have time to be like.
I mean, in the dressing room, you've got a monitor, and the monitor is running the camera blocking.
The feed,
Yep.
The feed.
I'm sure they
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
we just really told on them now.
Let's get them.
Okay, so let's move on to Anna's favorite, also known as our Teletubby, Jack and Cheryl, doing the Paso Doble.
He's my Spanish
I'm not calling him a
Teletubby.
Teletubby.
He's a Spanish Teletubby, this one.
Anna wishes that was her partner this year.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I just adore him as a person. I think he's just lovely.
Their package was hilarious. The
Awesome.
Angry Robert De Niro face. I mean, the talking
poster.
the talking
Oh, Lord.
poster with Val.
I know.
Oh, jeez. What do you think, Jake?
He just comes out there every week and is so poised and tries so hard, and it's so shocking because seeing like Jack Osbourne like on the Osbournes like cussing a lot and like being kind of like angry and angsty, it's just like not this guy who I thought he would be. And I'm so blown away by him. And I know that I thought he was underscored. I thought he should have gotten maybe a little bit better, though I don't think that the styles certainly fit him the best.
No.
But I mean, he's much better than I think that Brandt is, though.
Yeah,
I really do.
For me, I've agreed with most of you.
Brandt.
I
The one
feel
that got
like
a 10 from
Tango.
Lynn.
You think he's better than Brent?
I do.
Really?
I think he's better than Bill.
The personality package is like better than Brandt for me.
Oh, the personality.
Yeah.
And like the whole package, like as for the viewing audience.
I think of anybody on that show that an audience had a perception about before this show has changed so much with Jack.
Yeah.
So much.
Completely.
Because the only time we've seen him ever before was on the Osbournes. And he was a totally different human being, you know? And now you see this personality, this kind of fun, comic-like guy that's got a whole different vibe than you. So forget him, you know, dancing on this show. He's going to come out ahead. They're going to give him a little talk show. He's going to be doing this. He's going to be doing that. His career is going to move forward because of his personality.
Like what Kelly
Kind of like Kelly.
Yeah.
Her career took off after she was on the show.
Yeah.
Sonny, did you like their performance?
I loved it. I was surprised he didn't tip over. That must have been the stiffest legs I've ever seen in a paso. But yeah, I loved it. And again, his personality just makes up for it. You know, it makes you smile through it.
His setup saved the dance.
Yeah.
And I think you were kind of agreeing with where I was going to go with this. I'm a fan of Jack's. However, for me, this wasn't my favorite dance of his that he's done.
No, it was the Paso Doble, and I think it was really smart of them to mention that in the little video before. It's so against Jack because his personality, as we see it now, is really kind of a kind, self-deprecating guy who's a little silly, who's making fun of himself all the time, has good sense of humor, really kind of jolly. He's jolly, you know, that's a good word for him. And Paso Doble man is not. He's arrogant, he's confident, he's vicious, he's aggressive, and sexual. Not Jack.
Yeah.
So that's why. So the character of the dance, and he tried his best, but it's not Jack. So it's like miscast, you know?
Kristyn, what did you think?
Yeah, I love Jack too. I didn't think it was his best last night. It actually felt a little flat to me. I think he looked a little lost in the dance, and I think on his description of just what the paso should be and what it looked like, there was definitely a clear disconnect between the two.
Right. Well,
He just didn't feel comfortable.
They got 2 8s and a 9 for 25. What do you all think?
I think it
Kirk
should have
scored.
been 3 8s.
3 8s.
I think
Sure,
it should have
was
been.
high.
And
I mean, everything
A little
that
high
dance
again.
is about, he's not.
And he was trying his best, but he did had a few like stumbles and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love him. I love him with all my heart. But this was just not
Again,
his dance.
A 9 from Len.
Got a higher score from Len than from the other two.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so let's move on to Snooki and Sasha doing the foxtrot.
Sasha.
Cute set, cute concept.
So
I
cute.
thought. Jake, go ahead.
I wish that there would have been just one light post. I think it limited her movement. I was like, stop circling the light post. I wanted to see her really go, because when she goes and holds, she's beautiful. Like she really has great articulation in her legs and her feet. She can handle the space, and I wish that they had the space to really move.
Anna, was it too many light posts in person?
It was kind of a bit. I was like watching, and I was worried that they're gonna hit one. I was like, it was kind of like they had to go around, you know. I was like, I mean, they made it, and she stayed composed and smiled throughout the whole thing. But I just felt like maybe 2 would be enough.
Yeah.
Sonny, did you like
Well,
it?
I feel the thing with the light post is probably right, because, you know, foxtrot, slow fox needs to flow across the floor, and it kind of, every time they're flowing, it's like, oh, flowing, oh. So I feel that's probably the right thing.
All right. Kristyn?
Yeah, this was the busiest park I've ever seen in such a small space. A lot of props going on. This is another one. We talked about the foxtrot last week with Len saying there's not enough hold. Was there enough hold in Sasha and Snooki's dance, because they were apart for quite a bit?
They were holding the light post the whole time.
Yeah.
They had to hold something, I guess.
You know, I think she, like Jack, is another surprise. She's totally opposite, you know, from the show in Jersey.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she knows it, too. She's calling herself Nicole, not Snooki. We don't say Snooki's going to dance now with Sasha. It's Nicole's going to dance with Sasha. She looks beautiful.
She does.
She's slim. She's trim. And her dancing surprises me. I mean, look, not to mention my song Mickey that they danced to a couple of weeks ago. but she did a hot back flip that exactly in tempo with Sasha. I mean, come on.
Right.
Who would have thought that the girl who was stoned out of her mind under the bridge on the boardwalk was going to pull off, 2 or 3 years later, a backflip?
Uh-huh.
True.
Come on. Yeah. She and Jack might have a show together.
That could be fun together.
Well, they got 3 9s for a 27.
I think this is
liked it?
perfect.
Pretty
Yeah.
fair.
Right on? Right around?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Corbin and Karina doing the Viennese waltz. Geez. Where do we begin with this one?
Where do I begin?
I liked it.
to tell
Yeah.
a
I know. You guys sound like you're not going to like it.
I liked it.
No, I liked it too.
I think that was me and Tony's favorite number of the night. The only thing was that I
me
asked,
too.
we were halfway through it, and I was like, Tony, what dance is this again?
Yeah.
That was a problem, but it
Yes.
was
Great
Yeah.
number.
Love the theme. Game
Lo-
of Thrones.
Yeah.
And they went
So
for it,
into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She looked like a princess.
And you know what? The music fit the style of what they were doing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was one of the few musical pieces that really kind
Matched.
of matched and worked.
Right.
you know?
Theatrical.
Yeah.
Kristen, what did you think?
I loved this concept, and I wish it was received a little bit better by
Yeah.
the judges. But I mean, the commitment to the story, the staging that they did, I just thought it was really dramatic. Even the camera angle. So watching it from
Yeah.
home was just really fun.
Yep.
Yeah, the judges seemed like they wanted to go home or something right there because they just talked about everything that we didn't see.
Yeah, they got 2 8s and a 7
Yeah.
from Len for a 23.
A 7? That wasn't
Yeah,
a 7.
that was
How
not
was
a
it in
7.
person?
In person, it was a lot of story, a lot of passion, a lot of drama. Not much Viennese waltz.
No.
And
That was the problem there.
yeah, and I understand sort of where they went with it. I applaud them. And like with Corbin and Karina, like with Corbin, you can take that kind of risk. Like he's gonna make anything look good. And he's gonna sell anything. But they made a choice. They went for the darkness, sort of that Conan vibe versus the more up straight, elegant Viennese waltz vibe. I mean, if you have to nitpick, a few of creative hold positions would have probably helped them with the judges, but they sort of went like, hey, this is an amazing story, let's go for it. And they kind of had fun. It's almost like for Corbin, this was like his playground. He's like, I just want to do this, let me do this. And
Yeah.
Karina was like, okay, well, let's do it. I have no idea what Game of Thrones is, but you tell me.
Wait.
But a 7 was a little harsh.
Yeah,
Little harsh.
absolutely.
All right, well, we're getting short on time, so we got to keep moving to the Switch Up Challenge, which is brand new. Judging on keeping time, right? Interpretation of the music, ability to adapt to changes, 2 groups, and group 1 with Bill, Emma, Jack, Cheryl, Snooki, Sasha, and Corbin, Karina with the win and the 4 points.
Surprise!
I mean, who else is gonna win? Like,
What did you think, Anna, since you've never done this? It's brand new.
I've never done this. I've never seen this. I
Oh, it's the
called
first
it,
time. The first time.
First
the
time
first
ever.
time they did it, it was like the freestyle challenge almost. It was like,
Right.
Yeah.
I called it the messed up challenge. Because they were, half of the time they looked like they confused, like they were trying to figure out what's going on. But I mean, I think everybody did great. I think there were a lot of things going against them. They didn't know what the song's going to be. So they did fantastic. I just give props to every single celebrity and the pros that were in it because it was really stressful. I mean, this would have been a stressful thing to do.
When did they know that they were going to do this?
Well, apparently it looked like they knew sometime in the middle of the week. But
Okay.
they didn't know which song's going to be, what styles is going to be. They just kind of
Because
had to.
I
sure-
saw some unison.
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw
sure they
people doing some
prepared certain
unison, so there
segment.
was something.
I feel like they prepared. Okay, this is
Sections.
Sections.
A
So if this
generic
music comes
prepare.
on, we
Yeah.
can do that, and if that
Right.
type of music come on, I'll call you out.
Yeah,
We'll
and
do
I
that.
saw some
Yes.
pros are like, okay, rumba, you know, like okay, waltz, you
5,
know,
6,
like
7, 8,
yeah,
go.
5, 6, 7, 8. Literally, like Peter was with Brand, like 5, 6, 7, 8, salsa. Come on, like she literally, you know, the pros coached them like on the spot, like okay, this is what we do now. So that's why I'm like, my head's off to you guys, all of you, because you handled it really well.
Because the judges, one of the judges said, well, we were looking to see how you transitioned from one number from one song to the next.
From one mess to another
Holy
mess.
gosh.
How are you gonna do
that? Wow.
So good. Well, group 2 was won by Amber and Derek. No surprise there, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Ooh, really?
Really?
Yeah, because I thought he looked okay. I thought he was pushing her around a little bit.
A tiny bit.
I thought he was moving her around. Who was the second?
Snooki and
Sasha, right?
See, I thought they were better.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just what I was seeing. I thought they were maybe a little bit better. They were the last to go before the final, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe, you know, Derek seemed to be moving her, and I don't think he needs to move
Was
her.
it Sasha or was it
For what?
Brand.
Second?
It was Brand and
Brand
Peter.
and
Brand and Peter were
Peter.
third.
Brad and-
Third tap. Like,
Yeah.
Well, whoever was, I was surprised when they got bumped. And
Kristyn, real quick, what did you think of this group competition?
It was a hot mess, and I don't think it was really well executed. And you know, it was interesting to see like who was able to grasp the dancers as quickly as possible and make that transition. But overall, the transitions were pretty sloppy. And watching it at home, it was just like there was so much going on. It looked really chaotic. And I thought that the winner of the challenge was Tom Bergeron for doing awesome live color.
yes, wow.
It was great color.
I thought so too, because I thought,
Such a good host.
Yeah.
this guy is not a dancer, but of course he's been on the show since the get-go, so he knows dance now, but he was calling it like a ballroom guy.
Yeah.
So cool.
He's amazing.
Well, on to the non-elimination surprise.
I
know. Apparently, last week's voting, you know, was messed up on the East Coast and Central.
What? Wait a minute. That's all they said. What does that mean?
Well, they missed Toni and Leah's numbers weren't even put up to call in to vote.
You mean their phone numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
what happened.
voting got screwed up for half the country. So the fair way to deal with it was to do a double elimination next week, supposedly.
Yeah, it's kind of a-
Supposedly.
So are
Anticlimactic.
2 gonna go?
Yeah.
Yes.
2 or 3?
2 couples next week.
2.
Right. Poor Emma, she was crying.
Poor Emma, I felt so bad for her. She was just ready to lose it, right? She was losing it right there.
Yeah. So I want to go into, we have a few fan questions for you guys. Let's start with Sonny from Jonathan Calderon.
Yay.
Love your music. What has it been like recording your music?
It's been great. You know, I started recording music when I was like 13 years old. I did my first album in 2000. I'm originally from Denmark, so I did that back home in Denmark, and done a lot of stuff out there, and moved to the States about 4 years ago. Needed to get away from everything, and then mainly did dancing out here first to start with. So it's like the last 2 years I've been picking back up on my music, getting back in the studio. So it's been wonderful.
Sonny, you just finished your video, right?
Yeah, a new
one of your
music
songs?
video coming out in a few weeks. So
That's amazing. Congratulations.
I met Sonny. He was choreographing TV Land. Is that how I met you?
TV Land Awards.
Yeah.
You do that show, don't you?
Yeah, I do it sometimes. I do it sometimes when they're in LA, when they're not when they're in New York. They got enough choreographers in New York. They don't need to bring me.
Well, we got to look for your video.
Yeah, please do.
That'd be awesome,
Please do.
yeah.
What's the name of it?
Not Gonna Leave Her Alone.
Okay.
Ooh, it's about a stalker.
Yes, it's about a stalker.
Question for Toni. What moment in your career are you most proud of?
This one.
Yay.
It's always the moment. It's always, you've got to be in the moment.
Yeah.
I think if I look back, I think the most meaningful thing was putting the lockers together. I think it changed the face of dance, really.
For
I
a
think
lot of
it's
people.
yeah.
And
I mean,
still.
it showed street dancers that they could earn a living. At their art. I mean, it had never happened before. It was Gene Kelly's style of dance or whatever, jazz dancers. And street was just considered kids' stuff. And I think that maybe has been the most meaningful thing.
Which one of your moments do you wish you could relive again?
Me? Mm-hmm. You know, the best dance number live thing that I did was on the new Smothers Brothers show, and it was Street Beat. And every time I look at it, it's really the best number. The ending is fantastic. Everyone's fantastic. But I hadn't locked in years, and every time I look at it, I cringe because it had no groove. I went, oh my God, my locking has no groove? I cringe every time I see it, and yet I'll say that's the best number I've ever done. But that little section, I want to scream.
I have memories coming back of working with you right now.
Awesome.
Anna, really quick, someone wants to know if you have any baby names picked out.
A couple of the names that were thrown out that I was like, interesting. Caspian.
Len and Bruno.
Len and Bruno, Caspian. And what was it? Gwendoline? But I said no.
I love Caspian.
Do you know if it's going to be a boy?
No, I don't know yet, so that's why I have like boys and girls. And Caspian could be both, kind of. Gwendoline, and I was like, no.
I know you're not giving it up right now, though.
No, not Gwendolyn.
So, really quick, we need the predictions. Jake, I'm going to you first.
2 people?
Predictions. 2 people are going home. Who's going home next week?
Oh, this is
happening.
Oh God, I hate doing this. Bill. That's not what I'm gonna say. I don't know.
Bill.
I don't know.
Okay,
Bill.
You're only sure of Bill. All right, Anna.
I hate this.
Bill and possibly Brent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think he's in jeopardy.
Yeah. Sonny?
I think Bill and Jack. No. She's like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill and Jack.
Bill and Jack.
Come on, they're the 2 least dancers. Look, Jack is fabulous. He's found a career, but not in dance.
I love you. It's true.
You should be a
I'm
judge.
gonna go with.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna go with Bill and Jack too. I am.
am too.
I am. Kristyn, is that what your choice is?
Yeah, I think it's Bill and Jack. I hate to see Bill leave because he has made me such a huge fan. Jack
hate
is
to see
awesome, but
both
we're at the
of them.
point of competition where it's hard to keep around when you're not delivering the dances that like Corbin and Amber are.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you all for joining us.
So much fun.
So much fun. Thank you, Toni, for being here, and Sonny.
Oh, you're welcome.
Incredible. Jake, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jake_DuPree, and on Instagram and Facebook at Jake DuPree.
Anna.
You can find me on Twitter at Trebunskaya, Instagram Trebunskaya, Facebook Find My Name, and website Find My Name.
Sonny.
Twitter, Instagram at SonnyFP, SonnyFP.
Awesome. And Toni.
Well, you know, I have a fan Facebook. The Lockers have a fan Facebook. But I have a little YouTube channel, Toni Basil's House, and you can see that number, Street Beat, on it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The ending is Sacco, but man, I had no groove when I locked it.
I'm checking that out tonight. I'm checking that out tonight.
so gonna
Thank you
check it
again
out.
for being here, both of you. And you can find me, Suri Serano. Oh, sorry, I know, Kristyn, 1 second. At Suri Serano on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Kristyn Burtt, where can we find you?
At Kristyn Burtt on Twitter, and redcarpetcloset.tv is my website. And I'll see you all back in the studio next week. We've got Whitney Carson joining us.
Yay!
Yes, can't wait to see your
Bye,
face.
Kristyn.
Thanks again. Good night,
Hi,
everybody.
Kristyn.
Bye.
Bye,
Executive
Kristyn.
producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.